running the race, yeah, from two different sides, you know, being like, oh, no one expected you, to like, okay, man, defend your title, like, you can't just pull a sneak attack anymore. And I know that's, you know, I feel like I had the pleasure of, yeah, just kind of being able to fly under the radar last year, and that's not the case this year, so I think it's a very good practice for, you know, the position I'm going to be at going forward.
And today you knew exactly what you were doing.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because you had the experience of the crush. Tell us about that last lap.
I just kind of kept telling myself, you know, stay calm, be with your fear, like know that you have another gear if you have to use it. Because I love to race, and I hope that I never forget that. Sometimes I get very scared and I forget that. And so when everyone started making the move, you know, Yolanda and Michaela, I was like, this is it, like this is what we're waiting for. You know, like make sure you're there, like obviously physical body, but also mentally too. So yeah, no, it was a very exciting finish.
Yolanda was coming on there near the end for a minute.
Yeah, no,
Did
I
you
know
she was there.
Oh yeah, I'm very aware of like what a strong runner she is, you know. So I was like giving life. I was like, don't let her have a chance, you know. But I've seen her race, I've seen her kick. She's a tremendous athlete. So yeah, I knew what I was up against.
You won this race last year. You were still sort of under the radar, and now you're U.S. champion in the steeple, so you're obviously not under the radar anymore. Like, what is it like for you coming into a track season this year compared to last season?
It's definitely different for sure. I feel like I psyched myself out a lot in college, and I was never consistent because I would just get in my head a lot, you know. And so I felt like it was a lot easier to not get in my head last year when I was just like, I don't know what anything means. Like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what I'm doing, and I could just run like, you know, like kind of weightless and like burden free in that sense. And now I'm like in a position that I'm not very comfortable in and usually don't like to be in. And so I like being able to try new things. You know, I want to be sort of athlete who can, you know, win from any direction, who can handle any sort of circumstance. You know, people used to always call Emma Coburn unflappable, and I like the term, and I'm like, that's something, I want to be like Emma Coburn. Like, I want to be unflappable. I want to show up whether I'm feeling good, whether I'm feeling bad, like whether everyone's after me, whether no one has any idea who I am. Yeah, so I liked being able to, you know I have the target on my back and just have the confidence to execute the way I know I need to.
How did you feel your season went last year after you won USA's?
No, not great. You know, I don't think anyone was expecting me to make the world team. I think some people in my corner knew I had a chance, but it wasn't like planned. And so it was like, you know, we peaked for USA's and then ran great at USA's, and it's like, oh crap, like what do we do now? So we're just kind of piecing random weeks together. And so I think I have that, you know, that benefit now, knowing that making it past USA's is a chance. And so we're kind of planning long term, and just know that I have a coach in my corner right now who's working with me and who has that long-term thought process in mind. It's very like reassuring for me, very confidence giving to me too.
How's it feel to be coming back to Boston and just defending this title for you?
It's just so exciting. I mean, just be back in Boston in general, you know, whether I was like last or first, like I knew I was gonna have a great time. You know, the race, they put on such a great race here. People bring such a great energy, and like I always have people in my corner and my family that show up, and I have like great athletes to like race against, and I'm very fortunate to be friends with all the girls I'm on the line with. So I mean, it was gonna be a win today anyways, whether that was, you know, coming in first or not, but I'm lucky to have had both wins, you know, like first place finish and also just everything comes to being here.
Was there anything in particular you were focusing on, just knowing it's an Olympic year and you're just, you know, trying to get those races underneath your belt?
I'm trying to focus on one race at a time, and also trying to give myself one thing to focus on one race at a time. And so I asked my coach, you know, like, can you give me a word or phrase? Like, thinking it'd be something like, oh, peace, or like, you know, something called me, and he goes, turn and burn. And so the whole race, I was kind of thinking, okay, like, turn and burn, you know, maybe that takes on different meanings at different points in the race, but so like coming around a corner, like I was thinking like, okay, put your feet down, you gotta turn and burn, you know, or like, when it was time to start kicking, I was like, you know, get those wheels turning and burn them up, like, yeah.
So Jackson.
Yes, yeah.
Well done, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How's the three-lap race? It's like, you don't have splits, like, are you just solely focusing on just rounding out?
Yeah, totally. Like, just like being in the moment, taking it one thing at a time. So like lap 1 was like, okay, position, like know where you're at, make sure you're in the position you want to be at. Lap 2 is, I try to make lap 2 gratitude and just think about, like in my head going into the race, I was like thinking about things that you're grateful for. But I just feel like sometimes my mind just goes so chaotic all over the place that when I was in lap 2, I was like, I should start making a list. But I was like, no, just don't lose contact. Don't lose contact. Like, make sure you're still up in the front. So I didn't think about what I wanted to think about in lap 2. And then lap 3 was just like race, you know, like whatever's around you, wherever you are, like make the smartest move. So.
Do you typically find you run better based on just racing everyone, or like do you like some?
Oh, absolutely. No, I do a lot better when I'm just racing my thing about times. I feel like I can be a head case sometimes, and people tell me not to say this. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, no, I am. Like, I know I am. It's okay. I'm like obsessed with numbers, and so I would say if I was running a race and I saw numbers I want to see, that would give me a lot of confidence. But if I'm not going to want to see, I'm going to panic and like freak out, and it's like I can't do that, you know. You can't just like run well when you're just getting the feedback you want, because sometimes it's not always going to happen. And so when I'm not thinking about time, I feel like I race a lot better. Like I'm just present in the moment.
So you're focused more on like words or like mantras rather than explains.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
How has the coaching transition gone for you?
It's been a little difficult, but that's more on my end. Like I said, I get in my head, I like second guess things. I don't know, sometimes that can be very critical. But Jack has been absolutely amazing. Like he's been so patient with me. He meets me where I'm at. He's so excited about like working with me. Like so, I'll sit down with him sometimes, and he'll plan out a grid, like a block, and he'll send it to me. And I'll be like, how does this look? You know, does this look good? And if I like it, I'm like, yeah. If not, I'll be like, hey, can we tweak this and maybe move this around? And he's very receptive to that. So I think once I allow myself to put my trust in him, like it's gonna be a really good relationship moving forward.
The success you had last year, were you working closely with Jenna, or was that based on stuff like workouts Alan, the training Alan
I think a lot of it was Alan, yeah. And I put full trust in Alan, because I was like, I didn't even know I was gonna go pro. So I'm like, I don't know what this means. So like, I'm gonna just try to trust someone. And then I was very frustrated how the season like ended. And so then I got in my head, and that's when I was like, well, you can't trust anyone, you know. And so that's why Jack has received kind of like the backlash from that. And like, Jack's done nothing wrong. So yeah.
What would you say to young women who want to be in your position?
I just focus on you. Stay in your lane. Like that's the thing I have to tell myself all the time. It's like, don't be looking around. I mean, you can look at what other people are doing and like be excited for them, but you need what you need, and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to other people and trying to do what they're trying to do, because what you need, what benefits you, might not be the same as like what benefits them. So yeah, stay in your lane, do what works for you, and what makes you happy.